Hello, today is June the 9th, 2018. As usual, let's go over Thursday night's call, make a prediction for Monday, and then review the longer term picture where I'm going to add something to the prediction. This is a pattern with an early high and a late high. It tends to rally into the close. When that doesn't happen, one gets lower prices unless we gap over this high when the market reopens. When I made the call, futures were up here. I said there was more than a 50-50 chance we would gap outside of the day's range. I thought there was a good chance we'd gap under these lows, and if we did, I said that would print. Well, about 4 to 5 hours before the open, the call was looking good because futures were at the equivalent of 27.52. But by the time the market opened, there was not a gap outside the range. And even though we did trade lower, which was the prediction, we had a rally all day. That's still, the fact that this equivalent printed in futures doesn't remove it from the list of unsatisfied targets. So we have prices in futures which haven't been seen in regular trading hours. We still have this target we haven't seen, and we have a pattern which did not pay off as it normally does. Now, we rallied all day long, but couldn't close over the high. It's a negative pattern unless we close over the high quickly. Rallied all day long on Friday. Normally carries through into Monday's early trade, and Monday's pattern is going to be the same as Thursday's, with an early high, late high, and a tendency to rally into the close near the high. When that doesn't happen, it leads to a big drop, usually. It would make life a lot easier for me, make the clinical picture a lot clearer, if this high held and if the market admitted this whole move on Friday was a mistake. And the way the market admits a mistake is to gap under these lows and ideally under this one. If that were to happen, and it hasn't happened yet, it might not, but if that were to happen, we would top out right when I want the market to top out. It would say that the normal consequence of Thursday's pattern would be reinstated, and then we'd probably see this price. During the day, MEJT said ultimately higher price would print, which they did, identified all these moves as false and said they'd retrace within these lines, which they did. Whatever problem DeMarc's things have had, his sequentials have had in the rally, and it's had plenty, his TD lines have still worked pretty well. Here's a rally. Here's your TD-ST line. This is a support level, and the market has trouble holding on to drops more than 1 bar under this line. Here's a huge drop, and you'll see, based on closing prices, about 1 bar under the line's all we got. Here's a TD-ST line on the drop, 1 bar over the line based on the close typically is all one gets. So we have resistance at this price. We also have prices over the upper Bollinger Band. We also have pretty much a 1-by-1 Gann fan line from the all-time high. So if we were to move up sharply here and hold it, we'd be overcoming major resistance. And Warren Buffett says you don't have to swing at every pitch. If we do move up sharply here, I'm not going to swing at the pitch. You won't make a prediction. It would certainly make things easier for me if resistance held and we gapped under this low. We'll know by Monday's open if that's going to happen. Here's a weekly chart. We got 13 bars of a sequential sell signal. When that happens, one of several things can happen. It tells us the market's overextended on the upside. One thing that happens is the signal fails and we have a good rally. That can't happen if my waves count's correct because this high has to hold. Another thing is you morph into a 9, 13, 9 sequential sequential sell signal that would require 3 more weeks without a big drop and holding above these prices. I can't say it's impossible. It's not what I like to see, but it isn't impossible. The other things that can happen is that the overextended condition gets worked off either in terms of price or in terms of time. If it's going to happen in terms of price, you want to see something start within 3 bars, and that didn't happen. So among the possibilities, the most likely thing, according to DeMarc's work, is we work off this overextended condition in terms of time, which means the consolidation extends weeks longer. Here's our wave count. Count's pretty clear up to here. This is probably wave 1 down, though I guess you could say it's an ABC. I don't think it is. We don't know if this is right. We don't know if this is right. I don't think we're ready for wave blue 2, although it has to come at some point. This trend line from the all-time high to this high has maintained a gap over the line and a retest. According to DeMarc's work, we should now trade over this line by at least the distance we traded under it. And because of the location of the line, we can't do that now without going over this high. We traded 317 points under the line. If we're not going to go over this high, we should top out under the all-time high by at least 317 points, meaning we have to be around 25.55, and that's even if prices were approaching this high. Well, the line is now only 26.62. It's dropping about 1.5 points a day, and to get down to the minimum, you have to wait 72 calendar days. So if DeMarc's stuff works, we're probably talking about September, 2.5 months, late August, early September as the absolute earliest we could be that far over this line. So if his stuff works, this consolidation should continue at least until that period of time. If that's true, and if this counts right, this probably isn't A. I mean, if this is A, this probably isn't B. We're not waiting for a C. We're probably still in wave B, which means this would be A of B, and we're now making B of B. This is one possibility for C of B to N. There are some other ones. But for Monday, the picture's clarified if we gap under lows. If we go up, I'd like to see us reverse before the close, and if not, then all bets are off because I'm not making a call. If this resistance holds, there's a good chance that wave purple, big capital B of B, is over. There should be a C of B down to complete wave B. Then we should have a wave C up, topping out no earlier than late August, early September. It's all dependent upon us having the gap. We'll know by the open if that works, and if not, then there's no call. That's today's prediction.